Okay, hey everyone, Jen here. In this short video, I'm just going to share with you something that I've learned quite recently about myself in relation to procrastination. So, if you're an entrepreneur or a creative person, I'm sure you're familiar with that feeling of wanting to procrastinate on the things that you know you have to do. And the confusing thing is you know exactly what to do. It's just that feeling of wanting to avoid the task or not being able to actually deliver, which is really quite puzzling and confusing. And it can make you feel a sense of condemnation, like, oh, I'm just lazy. If only I could just be more disciplined, I could get the work done. But the thing that occurred to me is it wasn't just simply laziness. Obviously, there's an element of kind of just making myself just do the work. But there was a few other emotional and cognitive pieces at play that I could improve. And so I just wanted to share with you like three pieces of advice that I've discovered recently about overcoming procrastination. I'll give you an example of the situation that I was facing. So I recently did a YouTube course on how to start your YouTube channel. I love learning. I love content. I could easily like binge watch 7 hours of course content on a weekend. It's like binging Netflix for me. It's just double speed, watch all the content, learn it all, go through the program, mind exploded of what's possible. But then what I found at the end of it is I understood it all and I knew exactly what I should do. But when it came to me starting to film my videos or to create my YouTube channel, I just was almost like paralyzed for a while. And it wasn't fear of my own face on camera or all of these things. It was literally like I was a little bit choked up, and I had to reflect and think about it and what was causing me to face this terrible procrastination after I consumed pretty valuable content and it was time to start to implement. So the very first thing I learned about myself is when I consume content, for me to take notes. So I've been following a few productivity coaches and they're really emphasizing like our brain is not designed to just hold information and store information. Our brain is designed to process information. So, for example, a 7 hour YouTube course on a weekend is a lot of processing of information, but it's not meant to stay here. It's not meant to be held here. It's meant to be processed out. And the best way for me to process information is to take notes and write it down. So each module would be the main point, examples, and then an activity item that I should do. Next main point, few examples, and an activity item. And so, in fact, slowing down the consumption of content and taking proper notes rather than just bulk consuming content and having it all up in my head was one way that I was able to actually break down the amount of information I had so that I could see it there and then begin to prioritize and actually address that. The second thing that I learned about procrastination and myself was to break it into bite-sized pieces. Now, what I was finding when it came to creating my first YouTube videos, and the reason that I was just balking and just stopping and not really wanting to make the video, again, it wasn't just like a camera shyness or anything like that. It was simply that I was trying to think of all the steps in one go. So I knew what I had to do, but it was like all those steps were concertinaed into one, and it almost became like a block instead of something soft and smooth and spread out. Because I was thinking about, the idea for my YouTube video, then presenting and filming the YouTube video, but then the editing process and what kind of images or thumbnail or B-roll I might have, or end titles and things like that. And then also the uploading and the text and the optimization and the publishing of the video. And because I was holding all of these processes in my head, right at the beginning, I couldn't even get the ideas onto paper, let alone film the video, let alone go through the editing and the uploading. So what I found about myself is this thing of like breaking it into bite-sized steps, but also batching my work. So what I decided to do was the creative and ideation kind of mindset is really different to the, say, editing or optimizing and uploading mindset. So what I would do is get into the mindset of ideation and then create the script and the ideas for 3 videos. And then I would just stop work. And the next day or the next session that I had time to work on it, I would just film 3 videos and then I would just stop work. I wouldn't try and then also edit or also upload. I would just do that piece of work and then stop. And then the next time I had free, I'd already created the content. All I needed to do was change gear and go into the gear of now I'm editing it. And it's really quite a different kind of fine-tuning process of like kind of error checking and removing ums and ahs and removing mistakes and things and making sure that the titles and end screen was working well and that I was rendering my video. It's quite a technical process. And then I just did that, saved those files, and then left the task. And then my last piece of work was to take those files, render them, upload them, and optimize them as YouTube videos. And simply by taking those different types of tasks, and instead of trying to task switch and go from creative to producing to editing and publishing all in one kind of workflow, I broke them into different batches of tasks, and it was a lot easier to actually do the work. I found that the flow happened a lot better because I knew I just had one job to do and then I could leave it, I had another job to do and then I could leave it, had another job to do, then I could leave it, and I have another job to do and then I could leave it. And in fact, because I kind of started the process just with ideation, I kept thinking about it, and then I was excited to like just film it. And then I kept thinking about it and I was excited to then edit it because I wanted to get it out there. And then I was excited to upload it and publish it. And so actually just breaking those processes down inspired me to do the video instead of making me feel paralyzed and kind of withdrawn and like blocked about the work I needed to do. Then the third piece of advice I have for myself, and I think this is common to every single entrepreneur and creative, is just commit to the process and get over the idea that it needs to be really, really good at the beginning. So I think we're all perfectionists and we all like look at people that we aspire to be like. So, I follow YouTubers who have millions of kind of subscribers and really have amazing YouTube channels. And I think, well, I can't be like that. So it might hold us back from doing anything. What I learned on this YouTube course is just do 50 videos that are just really bad and just get them out there. Get used to sharing your voice, get used to crafting your ideas, get used to just talking to a camera, get used to the process of editing, just get used to putting them out there online. Even if you have 5 followers or 10 followers or no followers, like just get used to the process and just commit to the process. And don't get overly hung up about, oh, is my channel growing? Are my videos any good? Do people think I'm, stupid? Or is this worth my time? Because the time to benefit ratio is so gradual. So there's a long period of just nothing. And then over time, after 2 or 3 years, there's growth on a YouTube channel. And it's really about just regular blogging, regular content, regular producing. And it could be the same for anything, whether you're a musician or a business owner who's just creating solutions on a regular basis. Just keep doing the solution, keep solving people's problems. If you're a writer, just keep writing those stories or scripts and just getting them out there, because there's joy in the actual producing. There's a muscle that's being built. You're overcoming the block of perfectionism, just in the flow and the joy and the thrill of sharing your ideas with the world. And you will be sharpening your edge and sharpening your knife every single time you produce something. So that's it for this video on overcoming procrastination. I'd love to hear the ways that you found help you to overcome procrastination. Just write them in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be sharing videos regularly. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.